Covering the world of professional poker.
From the people who know it best.
Gavin Smith.
Yeah, G. Smith finally sucks out. Yeah. Fuck you guys. How about that?
Joe Seabach.
It might be a good idea to turn on the caveman's mic before he gets angry.
And Ali Mujar.
Why are you setting your alarm to wake up past when the show starts?
PokerRoad Radio. Brought to you by the World Poker Tour.
Good morning, everybody. Yet another week from the World Series of Poker. Are we hot, Matty Shaves? All right. I just want to make sure. In any event, it's another beautiful Monday. We'll call it Merry Mondays, shall we? From the World Series of Poker, myself, Joe the Cub Seabach, and one very special replacement fill-in.
Improvement.
Court the Hick Harrington.
Hey, man.
Now, don't let Gavin hear that you said improvement, Joe.
Well, you know, Gavin has to deal with reality.
Well, if he hears that you said that, he will attack you.
Well, he's going to attack me either way.
It
so what's
will.
the difference?
That's a good point. That is a good point. Now, where is Gavin, you might be wondering? He is somewhere in Lake Tahoe right now, as I understand it, getting his golf on. That is what G. Smith is doing. Now, that was because E-Dog, his good buddy, decided it was time to get away. The series hadn't gone so well. Let's get up to the lake.
For Gavin, obviously.
Let's golf it up. Let's not do the Bellagio Cup thing.
No, I think they're still going to do the Bellagio Cup.
Are they really going to do it?
Sure.
Well, I don't know. Last check I had heard, maybe no.
Really?
But who knows? Maybe the golf was designed to evaluate whether or not the Bellagio Cup thing would be a good idea. Every now and again, this is important. It has been a very tough go of things for the Poker Road family over here. You want to talk about it? 877-888-WSOP.
You know what?
WSOP.
We're over it. It was a tough go, but it's over. We're moving on. We're moving on into happy days. Okay?
Days can still be happy.
Beautiful meadows. We're not going to talk about how bad the World Series was. We're not going to talk about all that. Why? Because people don't want to hear that crap. And because we don't want to talk about that crap.
Now, when you say we, you are speaking on behalf of a wide variety of people that are members of the Poker Road family, including Court the Hick Harrington,
absolutely,
who has not yet had an opportunity to air his WSOP grievances.
I had an okay series, but I did bust out of the main event already.
You see what I mean?
What happened?
Whoa. We're going to get to that. And you know when we get to that. We get to that in that portion of the show I like to call the tourney recap. And I also usually let you guys talk about what's gone down. Weekend, a lot of stuff going on. Day 1C and Day 1D. We're going to get you caught up on that. Some main event shenanigans, including Phil Locke and folding pocket aces. I'm not sure exactly what the situation is just yet, but we'll know shortly. PR Radio chat on AOL Instant Messenger. Remember, if you want to get on and ask questions, because we've got David Singer in the house. Now,
hopefully.
Well, no. He's here. He's not here now, but he's in.
We're hoping. All I'm saying is that I always wait and see when somebody no-shows. And if they come again, I give them the benefit of the doubt. But I don't assume that they're going to make it. So we're going to say wait and see.
Ye of little faith.
No. I have faith, and I love the singer. But once you no-show, you have an X on you. Yeah. It's like the scarlet letter, and you have to accept that until you come on the show and you redeem yourself, and then we take the letter off of you.
Well, look who took AP English.
Hey.
A little scarlet letter reference.
I'm just
there.
saying.
That's pretty strong.
I'm just saying.
All right, 877-836-ROAD, the voicemail line, prradio@pokerroad.com, the email line. New Big Poker Sundays up on the side, along with all of the other goodness that we have up on PokerRoad.com. So be sure to jump on there, including a really funny Scott Huff. Have you guys seen this thing? The Madsen spoof?
Maybe the funniest thing that's ever occurred.
In the history of the globe.
In the history of the globe.
And
the Earth.
Think about that. There's some funny things.
I agree. There's many funny things. But
Not
this
a
is very funny. Have you seen? I know Cord doesn't because he doesn't ever go to the website.
There's a reason Huff is good at this stuff or has a reputation for being good at this stuff. He actually is.
Right, but have you seen it?
Yes.
No, you haven't.
Of course.
You are such a liar.
It's on PokerRoad.com. Who could have not seen it?
You don't go to the website ever. Every time we talk about this stuff, I go, hey, Cord, have you seen this? Have you seen that? Have you seen this? And you go, what? What? That's on our website? We have this kind of stuff?
Wow, Joe, calling out the hick.
Some of us are busy keeping things running instead of just surfing around.
That is true.
On the internet.
I thought that the joke would have been better if you said, well, some of us are busy playing poker.
Yeah.
That would have been better because normally I'm out of the tournament.
Right, that's true.
Or it's okay. I give you points. I give you points for effort. Good effort.
Or actually playing it well. Maybe that.
Either or would have worked.
Right.
Would have worked
Although
fine.
we all know that your story is you're playing it well. It's just not cooperating with you. That's the problem right now. All right. So why don't we get into that then a little bit? What happened for you guys? Court, we haven't had a chance to catch up with you on what's been going on in your series since last time you were in on the show. So bring us up to speed.
I haven't played any tournaments other than the main event since I was on, and or I think I came on right after I finished 14th in the one. Mm-hmm. But I played the main event, first 3 levels right up to dinner break. I don't think I showed down a winning hand, but I was able to pick up enough pots to stay around 20K, which I was thrilled with. And then actually I picked up pocket kings, queen high flop, I bet, call, turn to king, pretty good.
I'd like to think so.
Yeah, I'm in pretty good shape there. And I bet he calls. He pays me off on the river, too, and I get up to 28K maybe. So I've actually finally, jumped ahead of the starting stack a little bit.
Right.
And then got down to, I don't know, maybe 25K, and I pick up queens in late position. And I raised, and the kid to my left flat called. And he had been seemingly playing pretty tight, but when
he had position on you, or?
He did have position on me, but when he flopped a draw, he was playing it really fast, and he had gotten 50K chips basically by if he flopped a flush or straight draw, he just kept firing away.
Yep.
Sounds like an internet kid.
Yeah, he was playing. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that at all. That actually, I think, is a winning formula. That's how I used to play. Fire, just get in there and blast away.
Yeah, but that's how you bust quick.
Well, sometimes you bust quick, but
you're not going to hit every single one of those draws.
But you don't have to hit every single draw because a lot of times you're going to pick up the pot just by sheer aggression, by forcing the other person out of the pot.
And the other side of the coin is when you make a hand, you get people like me to put in a lot of chips with one pair, which against any of the other 8 people at the table, I don't.
Right.
So the flop came 7-7-5 with 2 clubs, and I let out for 1,600. He made it 42.
And what did you have?
I had pocket queens.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. You already said. My fault.
And he made it 42, and I should have probably flat called and then just check called, and if an ace, king, or club came, made a decision then whether to proceed with the hand or not. But instead, I made the decision that I really thought this guy had either a big club draw or he had jacks or tens. Mm-hmm. And I just didn't see him having aces or kings pre-flop, and if he happened to flop quads or fives full, I was just going to pay him off.
Wow, that's, yeah.
He actually had ace-7 of spades, and I paid him off anyway. So, one of the few hands he could have. I don't know. I mean, if I had check called the rest of the way, I don't see myself ever just being able to toss queens there unless an ace-king or a club comes. But I could potentially have just called the 42 and then check called the rest of the way and left myself with, depending on how he bet, somewhere between 5 and 8K, which in this tournament may have been the right thing to do just because people were giving away chips in large chunks.
Right.
You know, Joe, what you were talking about when you say I used to play like that and that's when I was doing well with the whole draw thing, the game has evolved. I mean, guys are keen. They're hip to the idea that if there's like any 2 cards in succession, right, 9 and a 10, a 5 and a 6, whatever, or 2 suited out there, that when it all comes in, the guy's not fast playing a set 99% of the time anymore. You know he's drawing, and it's a matter of, do you want to call me? Do you want to do this? Because I'm willing.
Well, and that's part of the threat, too, is the fact that people are scared you're going to call.
Right.
And that puts, some thoughts in their head about, all of a sudden, what am I going to do with 2 10s? What am I going to do with all these different hands? But there's a lot to be said for just simply playing aggressively. And I've said it before, like, if I was going to stake somebody in a tournament, I would rather have the less skillful, hyper-aggressive player than, the player who maybe has a lot of experience and has a lot of knowledge, but, just doesn't play these no-limit tournaments aggressive enough. Because there's so much value in just playing and blasting away at people. Because people are scared. People don't, just like you said, people don't want to bust. They don't want to get it in. Even sometimes when they know that you're on a flush draw.
Yeah, but you know what?
Don't want to get it in.
These days, I think they're a lot more willing than they were in the past. That's what I think.
Well, that's part of playing these tournaments is identifying who is and who's not. You sit down at your tables and you pay attention to how people are playing and okay, well, this guy's willing to go all the way with 1 pair. This guy's willing to go all the way with a draw.
Right.
This guy certainly is not. He's willing to lay down an overpair, on a raggedy flop.
Right.
So you have to identify all those things quickly to be able to navigate the table well.
Well, how about I identify some of the things that took place inside the Amazon room during our brief weekend hiatus. Main event day 1B, 1,158 entrants, 615 made it through to day 2. They're going to come back tomorrow. They're going to join the survivors, the 636 survivors from day 1A. So they're going to combine day 1A, day 1B into day 2A. Day 1C, day 1D are going to get combined into day 2B. Notable eliminations, Daniel Negreanu, Ted Forrest, Dewey Tomko, Greg Raymer, Jamie Gold, and the Chark is coming himself, Humberto Ramos.
The Chark. And he's had a lot of sick, deep main event runs recently.
Wait.
Humberto.
You only get 1 deep main event run per year.
Well, of course, but he's had several over the last, 3 years or so.
Well, not this year. Chip leader coming out of day 1B, Ben Sarnoff, 177,000 and change, which seems to be right around the neighborhood of where the chip leaders are coming out of each of the day ones. Third in chips, Robert Mizraki, Grinder's brother, and of course, Seabox nemesis also in the hut, Alex Belander. 109,925
Who is that again?
Chips. Alex Belander.
From the old days.
Yeah. Why is he your nemesis?
He just made, this was 2 years ago, I guess it was 2 years ago, he just made kind of a bad call. Really deep in one of the no-limit events. He brought it in late position. I was on the button with 2 jacks, and I raised it up, and he ended up calling off like 45% of his chips with queen jack. Ooh. And, of course, on the flop is a beautiful queen. Yeah. So
right there in the window, boom.
So we talked some smack about him for a while, but it wasn't the end of the world. It wasn't the worst play in the world.
I love that we use this professional platform of ours to exact personal revenge.
Well, we have to. It's what we have to do because we don't have wins in the poker world, so we have to just attack people.
Yeah. We are just a trio of salty old dogs at the end of the day, aren't we? 1,928 entrants, well up from day 1B. Headed into day 1C, a little over 1,000 remaining, 1,026. Chip leader Henning Granstad, 242,950. Notable eliminations in that field: Huckleberry Seed, Gavin Griffin, Justin Bonomo, JC Tran, TJ Cloutier, Tony G, and the Flying Dutchman Marcel Lusk. Main event day 1D, 2,461 entries, guys. After day 1C, I got to admit, I didn't pay attention to see how many pre-registrants had been added to the field. I knew what the total was after the first 3 days.
Right.
And a hot topic was, is it going to go over or under? What did you guys think, by the way? Did you think the total would go over?
I said over. Took the slightly over on 6,600, which is right where it came in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We both thought that.
I thought it was going to go under. I really did. And I don't know why I was silly enough, in spite of all of the information and all the educated opinion out there, that the economy itself is in bad shape and subsequently the poker economy is in bad shape.
Right.
Still, 500 more players in the hunt this year roughly than last year.
I'm still a little upset just in talking about, the 4 starting days. Barry and I were talking about how irritated we both were that we had chosen to play day 1.
Day 1A, you mean?
Day 1A. Uh-huh. Because, we both kind of said, okay, well, let's play, let's get it out of the way. And part of it is just having so many other things to contend with besides playing poker. But the fact of the matter is, most of the casual players are going to play on the weekends, of course. So it's a very obvious point that we both failed to recognize. And it cost me my tournament. And he actually ended day 1A with only 20,000, 21,000.
Flat line.
So we both felt that we made a pretty egregious logistical error. That probably cost me my tournament, because you saw yesterday there were just people giving away chips.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Giving away chips. Yeah. Just stupidity.
Some pretty suspect play.
I remember somebody, I think it was SB Rugby, an opponent ended up calling his all-in when there was a 4 flush on the board. Barry was telling me about it. I didn't read it. And he had the nuts, so he had the ace of clubs or whatever it was. And the guy just had top pair.
Wow. So, all in. The guy calls an all in.
Right. So this kind of nonsense was going on because, of course, on the weekends they're casual players. They don't play all the time versus Thursday and Friday, And then you add into that, most of the online players like to keep their Sundays open. So then it tells you, honestly, that was the day to play. Was day 4. Day 1D was the smart, strategic day to play.
Yeah.
I made a huge mistake.
I heard the argument that Friday would be good because it's the 4th of July, so a lot of people wouldn't. A lot of the pros maybe even would just say, no, I want to go and enjoy myself.
Right.
I heard the argument that Saturday would be the day to play because those who had enjoyed themselves a little too much would probably not be able to last, stamina-wise throughout the course of the day if they'd been partying. Day 1D. Brought the total to 6,844 players, second largest live poker tournament in history. Turnout up 7.4% from last year. $64,333,600.
Man.
And guess what the number is for the top finishers who are going to make the money?
You mean first place?
No, who's the money bubble bursts at what number?
Oh, I know, it's scary.
Yeah.
6.
Lucifer himself.
6.
It's the devil.
Yeah.
6.
Now, why wouldn't you
the
just
devil.
make it 667?
Just to not be weird and
Just
creepy.
to not creep everyone out.
I agree, man.
I mean, look, like you're not dealing with superstitious human beings in the gambling.
Whoever finishes
world.
666 is gonna they're dead. Their life is dead, and they're gonna die
That's
within like
awful.
20 minutes.
Yeah, 100%.
It really seems like making it an even 700 would be the way to go.
Yeah. I guess the structure has been moved around a little bit. 2008 winner is going to collect $9.1 million. Minimum payout this year for position 666, of course. $21,230. In action yesterday, guys, Chuck the Iceman Liddell and Teddy the Iceman Monroe. I guess they both have the same nickname.
There's a lot of ice out there yesterday.
There's a lot.
How about Jeff Lissandro? He's the Iceman too, right?
I get and yeah, you're right. You're right. He is the Iceman.
We got all kinds of Icemen rolling around this place.
Little bit of a scary note. I was working, doing some ESPN stuff. I walked in. Forrest Griffin, the UFC guy who had just won the fight the night before, he looked pretty bruised and battered. So I was like, "Hey, Forrest, how you doing?" Just before the interview, and he goes, "Oh, I'm doing good." And I was like, "Man, you don't look it." And he looks up at me and he goes, "I'll make you look worse." And I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah. Why don't we just roll the tape?"
And you just met him, right?
Yeah, I just met him for the first time
That's
ever, so I didn't
hilarious.
know if he was. And then, of course, he cracked a smile and was kidding. But I was like, I'm not trying to get my
I don't know
butt
how
kicked
those
over here.
dudes do that.
Me neither.
I couldn't do it.
Me
I
neither.
could not do it.
No amount of
No
money.
way.
No amount of money. I can barely handle the Taco Bell situation.
Are we gonna do that or what?
You know what? I don't want to talk about it.
Can we do let's say Friday?
It's disgusting. We got to move the line so I'm drawn live.
42
is too much. 42 is too much.
Oh, come
Let's
on,
take a
man.
quick break. I don't like
Come
where we're headed with
on.
the show. I don't like the discussion topic. Therefore, I'm going to exercise my executive powers that be. Send it away. We'll be right back with a little more Poker Road Radio.
Cheese gordita.
Welcome back for more Poker Road Radio. Guys, on a little side note, chip leader coming out of Day 1D, Steve Austin, not Stone Cold Steve Austin, but a different Steve Austin.
Cheese gordita.
Don't do it. 149,000. Victor Ramden, your boy, Seabach, among the chip leaders, 124,600. Notable eliminations, our boy, Eugene Todd, out of the hunt. The Poker Road snakebite continues.
Man, chuck it, Pequot.
Lane Flack out of there. The grinder gone. Jesus gone.
Beefy bean burrito.
I don't eat no beefy bean burrito, kid.
All right, I'll
the
stop.
main event no more, kid.
Yeah, everybody's
Jump in.
busting. I don't know. Poker Road, maybe we had to pay our dues this year. I mean, the Green Man took down a bracelet, so we have to, be happy with that.
That's true.
But maybe this was, this is the initial, first year. And next year we're going to come and we're going to just own the World Series.
And if we don't own the World Series, then maybe we can jump in and play some of the side action, like the Ante Up for Africa tournament, where I think the field is a little softer.
We can
than
maybe
some of
take
the
that
others.
down. That's a
I
possibility.
mean, I have to believe we can as I look at the names in the top 9 finishers here. John Hennigan won this thing. It's a $5,000 buy-in charity tournament that was arranged by Annie Duke and Don Cheadle, both of whom had a chance to hang out with and I've spoken to. And it looks like they may be willing to come on and do a phone interview. Neither of them are in town any longer. But
cool.
They may be willing to do one. And I actually, get this, over the weekend, I got Charles Barkley's cell phone number.
I would love it if we got Charles Barkley on this show.
Yeah.
I would lose my mind.
So and so we're hanging out. We're at a party and first off, this man can consume alcohol like no other. He has an industrial strength liver. That and he has the largest ass known to man.
Oh, really?
Huge, ginormous.
Really?
Yes, like you could engulf a toilet if you sat on it.
What?
That's why I'm
Are you
concerned.
kidding me?
I'm not kidding you. It's
That's
huge.
amazing.
I sat several drinks on it throughout the course of the evening. I was just like, I'll just put this here. But yeah, he's hilarious. Really, really cool guy. Got his number. Now my goal in life is to be a part of his Fave 5.
That's amazing, which
I
will
wanna
never
be in his
happen.
Fave 5.
Is
Come
he
on.
still in Vegas?
Me, Dwayne Wade, some girl from the Rhino, and
Is
his
he
wife.
still in Vegas? Is he still here?
No, he's no longer in Vegas.
Oh,
He's back in
man.
Philadelphia. He texted me back. He's a little bit busy early in the week, but Friday might be a chance that we can get him
that
on
would
the
be
phone.
so sick.
That'd be
That'd
real
be so
cool,
sick.
right? Because if you ever see him on PTI, he's like the funniest person
He
they
is-
ever
he
had
is
on
super
the show.
funny.
He's got a great sense of humor. So this Ante Up for Africa thing, Jason Kidd, Charles Barkley, Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, Adam Sandler, Ray Romano, Kevin Pollak, Jason Alexander, Cheryl Hines, George Lopez, all of these celebrities in action. John Hennigan, of course, takes the thing down. Doesn't let up at all on the celebs, but He donated the entire $136,860, including his 5K buy-in.
There you go.
To the cause. So they raised a lot of money for the event, and historically most people do give most of their wins over to charity. We're going to talk for a quick second. It's not an official hand of the day, but more a pre-hand of the day, I like to call it. It involves our buddy Rick Fuller. You know Rick Fuller?
I do. He went to the lake with us on the 4th.
Oh, you guys, what'd you do?
You went that too?
Yeah, I just went with Devo out to the lake and hung out.
Yeah.
You guys get a houseboat or?
No, we just he took his 2 stand-up jet skis and we just hung out on the shore.
There you go. Jet skis and alcohol don't mix.
Or
you
do
ever
they?
watch those
It turned out that Jeff Madsen and jet skis don't mix because the stand-ups are actually, if you've never ridden them, they're pretty rad.
Oh, really?
And he never, I don't think he ever got up on his feet. He just laid on it. He laid on it and rode it around until he almost killed the battery, and then finally somebody made him come back.
That's amazing.
Yeah, he tried to capsize a jet ski. Here in main event action, our buddy Rick Fuller opened a pot for 800.
I know
late
this
position.
hand.
Do you know this hand?
I do.
It's pretty remarkable.
I do.
Late position player re-raised to 2,800. Fuller moved all in for 12,000. Late position player paused, took her earphones off as she asked the dealer to count down Fuller's stack. About a minute later, she calls and rolls over aces. Now, of course, Fuller says, what took you so long, as he shows what else? Pocket kings for the coldest form of deck. And she says, if you had me covered, I would have folded.
Right. Well, and he played what day again?
If you had me covered, I would have folded.
Right.
Is that ever sensical?
Obviously not. But he played yesterday, which was day 4, which was the day, amateurs and beyond amateurs, people who just, won satellites or didn't really have any idea what they were doing, played, which was the day you wanted to play. Now, obviously, anyone who plays poker regularly, this is pretty egregious.
I mean, it's disgusting.
Yeah. It's pretty sick. So, I mean, that goes without saying.
Ace is held, by the way, and Fuller was eliminated.
Right.
And yours truly knows the feeling. The only main event I ever played in, this is how I was knocked out.
You went out King's Ace.
The worst. The worst when
Right.
you hold your breath. But normally it doesn't take them a minute to call. Once it takes them a minute, you're like, sweet.
Well, that's the whole thing. The second that she asked him, the dealer to count down the chips, obviously he's thinking, call, please call, please call.
Yes.
It's a pretty sick slow roll, because he went from basically being positive that if she called, he was going to be an 80-20 favorite.
Speaking of slow rolls, guys, Phil Hellmuth decided he was going to arrive in style yesterday in what else but a freaking tank.
I think he's lost his mind.
A tank. The guy showed up to the main event in a tank. Can you imagine coming through valet, crunch, like you just go over like taxi line, crunch.
I think he's lost his mind.
And you'd be right there along with him with the whole idea of the UB Army dressed in the Nazi garb from 1944.
They should have done like an 11-shot salute or something with muskets.
Right. I just don't understand why UB allows it, why the other people on that team allow it. I mean,
they're like the bad kids in school screaming for attention however they can get it.
Yeah.
It is absolutely ridiculous.
But I mean, it's so embarrassing and it is such a joke. And like no one in the actual poker industry takes any of this seriously and takes Hellmuth seriously.
Right.
I mean, it's totally ridiculous upon ridiculous. So I mean, it's embarrassing, honestly.
It is a little bit embarrassing. Hopefully what won't be embarrassing, however, is the knowledge that our fans possess of poker, as I'm going to offer them an opportunity to win some of this lovely PokerRoad gear that I have behind me.
Yeah.
By giving them a trivia question revolving around our guest, David Singer, who has just entered the building right over here. You guys ready to do this? You guys think you can take a crack at this? I want you to know that there is no penalty other than the shame associated with an incorrect answer if you can't get it right here. So take a shot. I got 5-pound baby Jesus on the mic or no? Shrunk, you're stepping in?
Shrunk me on the mic.
Abandon the controls. You know what happens when you do this to me. All right. What online tournament did David Singer win in the weeks leading up to the main event? What online tournament did David Singer win in the weeks leading up to the main event? Do we have an answer here? Hold on. We got. All right, guy. What's your name and where are you from?
Chris, Las Vegas. 25K heads up.
25K heads up. On what website?
Full Tilt.
That it is. You are correct, Chris. You are the winner of a shirt I believe we have already given you at some point here. You were starting to collect a wardrobe over here. Who else knows the answer to that exact same question? Anyone?
We have a lot of shirts.
What tournament did David Singer win? I want to see how much attention these guys are paying. That is correct. Give that man a shirt. Shirt that guy.
Shirt for him.
Anybody else know the answer? 25K, that is correct. Shirt. Yep.
What's the answer?
Win. There it is.
Shirt.
25K.
Another shirt.
I'm sorry, 24K is not correct. Who said that? All right, good. Let's get these guys outfitted over here. Let's get them outfitted.
Why did he say 24K? Why didn't he know? It was 25K. We've been saying
he
that.
said 25. I was just busting.
No. I heard it. Dude.
You heard it?
I know. Go along with this.
Go along with it? Yeah, how could that happen?
Okay, you know what? You're a knucklehead. You are a straight knucklehead as well.
I don't go along with you. You know why? Because you're trying to shove copious amounts of Mexican fast food into my colon.
Big burrito.
And when you do it with the whisper, I just cringe.
Dude, you're doing it. You're doing it.
Regurgitation.
Just stop it.
For those that might not know, incling me, will you run through the basics of this bet quickly?
Basically,
$43
you want to go?
Taco Bell. You go.
Basically, here's the deal. What's the time limit, though? I don't know that. 2 hours?
3.
3 hours. He has to eat $43 worth of Taco Bell food in 3 hours. Right? So it can be any conglomeration of whatever, meals, drinks, this, that.
I'm so effed.
But the food has to add up to $43.
Now, let me also point out that I am not going to do this unless Seabach
I don't think this is fair.
His 3 Big Macs in 5 minutes.
I don't think this is fair because I never said I wanted it, but I said I think I could do it. That's what I said. I never said I actually wanted it.
Right, and I said, you know what? I wouldn't mind trying that.
Exactly. See,
so how is that any more of a commitment?
Because I don't want to try it.
I know this is an impasse.
I never said
we're never going to be on the same page with respect to
3
this.
Big Macs is, even though in 5 minutes is really quick, it's still something that, it's not a normal meal, but it's not totally out of the realm of possibility that
like
someone would eat it. But $43 worth of Taco Bell sounds like the nastiest thing I've ever heard of in my life.
Let me tell you exactly what was going on.
All right.
I was really hungry that day. I'm not kidding. And I was thinking to myself, Taco Bell sounds good. Now, $43 of it does not sound good, but I didn't really think about that. So
it will be
that's what happened.
Such an amazing day if you do that bet.
I don't know. Yeah, because you'd be wiping a vomit trail between here and my freaking room.
See, I don't think you would actually vomit. I think that your face would turn a different color.
I don't think you'd get there. I don't think you'd even get close.
You think you would quit? You think you would just throw in the towel?
God,
I would quit after about 50 cent worth.
You know what? I would like a shameless non sequitur at this point to get us into something that I've been promising our fans for a while but haven't delivered on. It is Hand of the Day.
Hand of the
What more fitting than to incorporate Theo Tran into the show, our good friend. Queen 9-4 is the flop, rainbow. Theo checks from middle position. The cutoff bet's 2,000. Button calls and Theo calls.
Mm-hmm.
The turn is the 8 of diamonds. So the board now reads Queen 9-4, 8, completely rainbow. Tran leads for 3,500. The cutoff folds and the button calls. The river is the king of diamonds. Board now 8-9-4, king 8, no flush out there. Tran bets 11,500, and after a stint in the tank, the button folds queen, face up.
Wow.
Flopping a set of queens and folds it face up.
Wow.
Basically, giving Theo 100% credit for 10 jacks.
So that is how Theo does well in tournaments.
I mean, can you guys imagine if you're going to call the turn?
Wow.
Right? How do you not call the river? Because it's not like Theo had 2 kings.
Of course not. Well, whatever. You don't know what Theo has, but it's not. If you're going to play the hand that way, it certainly doesn't give you the ability to then just open fold it.
I simply don't understand. I cannot synthesize this.
Yeah, it's not a good play. I mean, I'm okay with the person playing the hand slow. Sometimes you play a set slow, you try to trap somebody, and then maybe a scare card comes and you say, okay, well, I'm just going to
right.
No, but I'm certainly not just going to fold it.
Right.
But the problem is he never showed any strength, so there's no reason to think that Theo has any strength.
Exactly.
There's no, you haven't gained any information, which is one of the reasons why we say that you want to play aggressively. Calling in No Limit Hold'em generally, is not the way to play.
Right, unless you got one of those 3-barrel opponents who you can just let fire down and make a lot more chips off him that way because he's smart enough to get away from it.
Right, but then you're not going to fold on the end.
No, of course not.
You're going to call.
Of course not. Which is why it didn't make any sense, but you know what? Don't ever run bad, Theo. Congratulations. I know the other day he lost his cell phone and all of his contacts. I'm sure he's feeling a little bit better
That very well could be running bad if he had 10 jack.
Yeah, that could be.
It's actually running really bad if he had 10 jack.
That's actually a good point. I didn't think about that. I do not give him credit for 10 jack.
I don't think he had 10 jack.
I don't think he had 10 jack either. All right, let's.
No, I don't think he could have beat the queens without the other queen on board, much less.
Exactly.
2 queens were good. 3 was overkill. All right, let's do some poker news, shall we?
Let's do it.
Bringing you the biggest stories. Or, well, whatever we could find 10 minutes before the show. Poker news!
Now, I know that you are going to be tempted to think that I'm only bringing this up because I just happen to do the voice work for this show. But
unbelievable.
Poker After Dark debuts July 14th, the new season.
Unbelievable.
New season.
Will you do me a favor? Will you get them to invite me once?
You know what I'm working on?
Yeah, what's going on with that? Has Maury given some word?
I'm not too at liberty to disclose this, but I am pushing very hard.
Do you know it would
and
be
I've got some people on board.
All right.
For the Poker Road themed Poker After Dark table, which would involve, of course,
there would be brawls within the company. I mean, there's certain people that are obvious that would be in.
Me, you, and Gav.
Barry
Greenstein.
You know.
All right. Haralabos.
And then it's tough, the last two spots.
That
right?
sixth spot better be,
yeah.
That sixth spot ought to be coming my way.
That's the thing that everyone feels that way.
You're gonna be real short an employee.
We should have a play-in.
Do you have 20,000? Yes. That's exactly what we'll do. That's exactly what we'll do.
If they give us the green light, we should have a play-in top
That's exactly
6
what we'll
make
do.
the show.
Great idea. You want to do top 6? Well,
or we do 5 and then the 6th spot is a bloodbath for one
exactly
person.
Because I'm assuming Poker After Dark was not going to be happy if it's like Joe Stapleton, Amanda Leatherman. You know,
I got to be honest though, they want Eugene Todd.
I would love to bring Eugene Todd onto the show.
They want
That'd be
Eugene
amazing.
Todd. No, it would definitely be amazing. Almost as amazing. The fact that in spite of all the negativity that you expressed and all the lack of faith that you had in my man, David Singer is here. He is in the building.
I did not say that. What I said was...
No.
That's not what I said.
Don't
what
you
I said was,
he's here.
Until people get here, after they've no-showed once, until they're physically arrive, I do not give them credit until their body is physically sitting next to mine. That is what I said. That is what I said.
His body is definitely doing exactly that. We're going to get him outfitted over here and all set up for your phone calls and your chat questions. 877-888-WSOP or PR Radio Chat on AOL Instant Messenger. We'll be right back with David Singer and more Poker Road Radio. Welcome back for more Poker Road Radio. Sitting with us, a gentleman who has over $4 million in career tournament cashes. In October 2007, he won the Caesars Palace Classic No Limit Hold'em Championship event worth $1 million. In May of 2008, he picked up $560,000 by winning the $25,000 Full Tilt Poker Heads Up World Championship. Biggest heads up field ever assembled. Biggest prize pool as well. Back-to-back final tables in the first two $50,000 horse events and won his first World Series of Poker bracelet this year in the $1,500 Pot Limit Hold'em event. Please welcome David Singer. How are you, David?
Hey, it's good to finally make it here.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's going on,
now,
man?
The very first question that we have out there comes from our chat room, from the 6th Wilbury, who I know is a diehard out there. And he asks, quote, "Where the hell were you on Friday?" Which is what's on everyone's mind. So why don't you explain what happened? It's a good story.
Very good question. I don't think it's a good story. I think it's a bad story.
It's a sad story.
I ran into a real hard-ass cop. I was a little bit pushing the time getting here. I may have been a minute or two late. May have made it on time. And I was just less than a mile away. And I went to turn on the wrong street on Spring Mountain instead of Twain. So I cut back into the main traffic. I didn't come close to hitting anyone or anything. But some cops saw me and pulled me over and cited me for aggressive driving. But that wasn't enough for him.
Aggressive driving?
Not speeding.
I was driving fast, but I don't think he saw me driving that fast. He just saw me cut back into a lane without putting on my blinker.
Did you?
But that's not even. I'm not even. I don't even have a problem with that. If he wants to write me up with that.
Did you or did you not hit a child?
Did you not run over a moose?
Did you?
Not only did I not hit a child, but I don't think I saw a child on my way here.
See, that was aggressive driving.
They're so easy to lodge into the grills on the cars these days.
I'll have to check on the way out.
Right, so that wasn't all, though. He cites you for aggressive driving, and then what?
So when he first came over to the car, he asked me where I was going. I made the mistake of saying I was late for a radio show.
Right.
And as a joke, because Scott and Joe on their show that's like on their show made fun of me for saying I would never wear my bracelet because it was too flashy, and they showed my rings.
Right.
I was wearing my bracelet. I was wearing the Breitling watch that I wanted to see this palace.
Oh,
and so I think he saw me as like some pretty boy or something.
So you're all
like
blinged
that.
out.
Yeah, I was blinged out. So he was asking me, he was talking to me, and I was being very deferential, but maybe I mumbled or something. He thought I called him officer. And he set me straight right away. He said, "I'm not an officer. In fact, I'm a sergeant."
Oh,
and
boy.
further, I'm a homicide detective. So I knew he had a bug up his ass right away.
You should have asked him what he did to get assigned to traffic duty then. Oh, that would have really done it.
No, he said he was just in his spare time driving around, I think. That was the impression I got. So then he treated me like as though I'd just
you wanted to make
some
a phone
very
call.
serious crime. Yeah, so then I got back in my car. I was waiting. He told me this is baby work. I don't do baby work anymore. I'm going to make you sit to get your license again. Sit like a third grader. He had to give me a whole thing. He was obviously very mad at me for some reason. So I got in my car. He told me it was going to take a half an hour at least to write up all these tickets. He ended up giving me 4 tickets.
He told you he was going to do that.
Yeah, so I almost always remember my cell phone, but I forgot my cell phone on Friday, so I couldn't call you guys. So I was sitting in my car, really feeling bad about it. I try and be a responsible person. I don't like just not showing up for things. So I saw there was a payphone maybe like 100 feet away from where we were. So I decided, even though he'd been a jackass to me so far, I decided to get out of the car and ask him. He had the car door to his car open.
Yeah.
And in a very deferential way, I asked him, would it be okay if I just walked right over there and made a call to these guys I'm late for, and I explained.
Big mistake.
So he took that as though I was trying to escape, or I went out with my hands up. I went over there. So he told me, not only can't you make a phone call, but you're going to sit here, you're not even going to go back in your car. You're going to sit here out in the sun. You're going to stand out in the sun the rest of the time, and it's going to take me at least a half an hour. I want you up against my car facing me. So I went and I touched the car. That he yelled at me for touching the car.
Oh man, I would get so mad.
He had me stand facing his car the whole time. He said, if you do anything else, I'm going to arrest you because you're something like you're likely to leave.
You're likely to kill someone.
You're going to stay there where I can keep an eye on you. At least it was about 110. He made me stay out there.
At least he didn't tell you it was okay to go to the payphone and then shoot you as you were going away and tell everybody you were trying to escape.
I'm surprised.
The old rural South Carolina play. So like, go ahead, make a call.
Boom.
Unfortunately, he scribbled his name on the ticket, so I can't put his name out here, but I'm going to make a formal complaint.
Man,
you know what? You should go into the police department. I'm not kidding. This story is so bad. When I first talked to David on the phone about it, we were both like, we have to get a picture lineup of all the cops in Clark County and locate this guy, because that is a certified douche.
99% of the cops out there are great cops. They're doing a really good job, and they care about doing their job and being fair to people, and this guy was just a jackass, and that I feel like it's my duty as a citizen to go and complain about him.
I'll tell you what, speaking of fairness, we all know that there is a little bit of rumor milling going on about David Singer being a rules monger. Now, there's a bit of a negative connotation, obviously, to this, and you and I spoke. You were not here to defend yourself on Friday when Gavin fired the first shot across the bow about you being a rules monger and, him taking umbrage with it and whatnot. So we wanted to open the forum for you here today to respond to Gavin's criticisms and address that sentiment that seems to be floating around out there.
Okay, first of all, more generally, somehow I get a reputation for being a bad guy, besides the rule monger stuff.
I don't know where that comes from, by the way. You've been nothing but friendly every time we've kicked it.
I think I like myself. I think I'm a good guy. I honestly went to the poker table. I don't think anything. I'm not conceited at all.
Not to send this in the wrong direction, but who's sitting out there thinking, you know what, I'm really just a jerk.
No, seriously, I don't take myself seriously away from the game. All I do is fool around. I'd say I'm like on the immature side. I don't take life seriously. I honestly treat other people the way I like to be treated. I give money to charity. I like animals. I care about kids. I'm not joking. I mean, I think I'm a nice
black.
person.
Like, I mean, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, how come you guys cut out in the lounge? I was talking to Phil Ivey. We were joking around about a trip to Aruba, and I got him he was going out fishing with me. I got him a hat and sunglasses to go out fishing, and he said, I can't wear that. Only white boys wear that.
Only white guys wear that.
All right, anyway, Gavin attacked me, I hear, with this rule monger crap when I wasn't here.
Right.
Okay. I don't like the fact he did it without me here, but anyway, I wanted to explain it. I don't consider myself a rule monger. Any game you've ever played, any game any of us have ever played, there have been rules in. I'm not the guy out there looking for an edge. I'm the guy out there looking for things to be enforced the same way all the time. Mm-hmm. Look at the major sports, okay? Look at football. If they didn't have rules, guys would be head slapping each other. Guys would be all the star quarterbacks would be injured.
Right.
Every game you play, there's a reason for rules. And not only that, if the rules were enforced unfairly or unevenly, people would be getting away with all kinds of stuff, and other guys wouldn't, and it just would make for a bad game. Same thing. I learned early on in my poker career I played in a club in New York, an underground club, where there were a lot of guys from one ethnicity. I won't even say what it was, and they all hung out together. And
the Asians.
We were playing stud, and they would save bets. They would take back their antes. One guy would raise, another guy would re-raise, and everyone else would be out of the pot, and then they'd split up the pot.
Ooh,
like
that's
that.
brutal.
That's not right.
So I saw early on in my career that they're pretty much always, the situation won't be like that, but they're always going to be people trying to take advantage of rules if they can, you know?
Right.
I'm not out there doing that. I want it to be fair. I want to be able to rely on what happened before and one floor person enforcing the rule the way another floor person will.
Well,
if I put an extra chip in the pot by accident, I want it to stay in just the way if one of you guys puts an extra chip in there. I just want it to be the same. So, I mean, it's a specious argument to say you could sit there in a bar and everyone says, yeah, we hate rules, no rules, let's play without rules. And on the face of it, if you're all drunk or you're all happy or whatever, you're going to say, yeah, cool, no rules.
Well, I don't think
but
anybody
every game
thinks
we
we
play
should
would
have
be
rules.
just shit
No,
without rules.
of course. I don't think anybody thinks that we should not have rules.
And I guess you guys took a poll among the media, like who they don't root for. And I guess they don't root for
we
me.
did Not So Family
And does
Feud.
that make me feel good? No, it doesn't make me feel good. Obviously, I want people to like me.
I was
Remember,
But I have one thing to say about the poker media. Most of
Yeah.
the poker media is great, but there is one website that I try not to do interviews for, and it's because I had a personal issue involving a woman with one of the guys at one of these websites. Like I ended up.
Thank God it's not Poker Road.
Do you want to say the name of the website?
I don't want to. No,
Okay.
I don't want to even give it any
All right.
more legs. But I just want to say I ended up dating a woman that he liked. And so he took it personally. He wrote bad things about me on their site.
Yeah.
When I got knocked out, he referred to me once as diminutive, full tilt pro, and worse.
That's
Wow.
not
Said
right.
something about he's going to slink away and take someone else's girlfriend.
No.
And then his personal.
He wrote that?
He didn't delete
No.
it, but he wrote it.
Is he
And
still
then
out there?
I really
doing
don't want
this?
to say what it was. I don't want to give him any airtime or anything. And then he wrote stuff in his personal blog, much worse than that, to the point where I had to go to his supervisor and bring it up. So I really don't like to do any extra stuff for that website, you know.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I know there's a bunch of people in that media room from that website, so that could.
Well,
be
I'll
part
tell
of
you
it.
what, David.
And as far as someone else said that they don't like to root for me because maybe it's the end of the day and at the final table.
I'll tell you what.
100%. It's got to be media wants to get the heck out of Dodge ASAP.
I'll tell you what, though. Let me say this, though.
Sure.
On Poker Road, we will never let out all of the messed up shit that we know you do.
Yeah.
We will keep it quiet. We will keep it hushed.
We will
no
even
one will
send
ever
our
hear about
intern-
it.
That's why you're
We
my
will
guy.
even send our intern out to wash the baby guts out of the grill in your car so that no rumors will start. You know what I mean? That's the kind of
If
people
you need a
we
body
are.
buried in the desert,
cool with that.
Yeah.
Poker Road is your company.
We hack it up. We cut the finger
All right.
pads off. No ID.
Yeah.
Teeth pulled. I mean,
If I wasn't doing the video blog, would I get that kind of service? Or only
No, not at all. But now we've let you into the Gold Star Club. If
Has
you-
anyone seen my video blog?
People love your blogs. I get emails all the time.
you are a Poker Road
Yeah.
7-star. I just want you to know that. You've gotten yourself there. All right, let's talk a little bit about the World Series. Been going pretty good for you, my friend. $1,500 event. You pick up your very first bracelet. Well, what was that run like? Were you grinding the whole day? Was it just like you couldn't lose? Were you up against the wall, taking the worst of it? Walk us through.
Most of the way, I feel like I played really well. I was chip leader a good part of the way, and then I lost the chip lead with like 3 tables left and then came back. I actually started out that tournament playing. I was in the second day of a no-limit tournament. I was running back and forth between tables. And the no-limit tournament got down to be hand for hand. So I was able to run over and play more hands in the pot limit tournament.
Right.
And I was playing like 6-1. And then, so that helped me build up a little bit of money in the pot limit. And then I took a bad beat right after we made the money in the no limit. I had ace king against ace queen, and I was pissed off because I was running back and forth. The tables were really far away, and I was like, "Oh, woe is me."
Yeah. yeah.
Then obviously it ended up being a good beat because then I went on concentrate on the pot limit and I won. Most of the way I was ahead, I did play one hand where a guy played what I consider his hand to be like in a totally goofy fashion in a 4-way pot.
Mm-hmm. Talk to us.
And so I couldn't give him credit for the hand, and I got lucky that we chopped the pot. But besides that, I don't think I got lucky in one hand, even at the final table. I came into the final table 8th in chips, and I got my money in really good the first 2 hands to double up twice, and I was never in jeopardy. The final, the heads-up match was pretty tough. I played against a guy who's not too well known, Jacobo Fernandez, but he did really well in the series, and I think people underestimate him. And he was really tough to play heads up.
Well, you just said the key word, heads up. 25K event on Full Tilt. I had the opportunity to cover some highlights from that. And Court and Joe, if you guys want to see systematic, categoric destruction of a human being across the felt. I am not kidding you. The guy that he played against is really adept. He's not a bad player. He obviously got himself through a very thick field to get to the finals. But once he sat across from David, and it's not like David held over him the whole day long. I mean, there were no shows, like just the way he played. Your heads-up game was about as intimidating as anything I'd ever seen. So since we got you here, and a lot of our listeners out there are probably curious about what it takes to play heads up, or is that the purest form of the game? Talk to me about some of the tips that you've got, or just that experience there in that tournament, and what worked for you and what doesn't work. And I mean, just educate us, my man.
Well, I won another heads-up tournament in 2006 at the Mirage, where a lot of the best players were.
Yeah, I remember that one.
I consider myself to be really good at it. I try and go into a heads-up tournament playing, looking at it like I use the old Bruce Lee saying, where he says, "Be water, my friend."
Be water.
And the idea behind that, he says, water can crash. You pour water into a teacup, it takes the form of a teacup. In other words, don't have a style. He says the highest style is to have no style.
Mm-hmm.
So I really just try and get inside my opponent's heads and adjust to them. And when I'm doing that, I think of it kind of like shooting free throws, or like a basketball player is hot. Like, you're kind of in the zone. Those 2 days when I played the heads-up championship, although I did get lucky in one hand when I had the guy covered, I really felt like I was pretty much, it would have been really hard for me to lose. I would have been really, really unlucky. Part of it is just watching how the players play. As I've said other places, some of the players, especially the younger online hotshots, came out just firing away like they were going to run me over. And I don't know about you guys, but I find it easy if someone's just going to play one style and pretty much make it apparent what they're doing.
Sure, and not switch
it's pretty easy to exploit.
Definitely.
But do you fight fire with fire when they come and try to bulldoze you? You go, okay, I'm going to rev my bulldozer up and re-bulldoze.
I do both, yeah. Sometimes I came out firing at them and re-raising them, putting in the third bet. You saw that guy White Lime. Sometimes I put in the third bet, he just laid his hand down. So
I mean, it was amazing.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. This poor guy. He was so handcuffed in this match. What are some of the?
And then another guy, I woke up with. I can't remember which guy it was, but I had two good hands, the first two hands, and he just came out firing, and then he lost like almost half his chips the first time, just because he was intent on firing away.
Right.
You know?
He already made up his mind before he sat down.
Yeah,
obviously,
exactly.
what he was going to do.
If you fire two unsuccessful three barrels, the chamber is usually empty.
Right.
After that, in your six shooter. What are some of the pitfalls, David, of heads up play? What are some of the big mistakes that you see people making? Because you get a lot of advice on what to do, but it's sometimes difficult to remember what not to do.
Well, I think the biggest mistake you can make is, like I said, playing with one style and making it obvious and just playing the whole way. Your opponent's watching if you're against a good opponent, he's watching every single hand you play and how you play them, and you've just got to change things up a bit. And also, for a new player, I suppose, is not getting value for their hands. You've got to be betting when you have a hand so that you can win pots when you have a hand. You can make big pots when you have a hand.
Right. You do see that a lot. With people that don't play a lot of heads up, is they do that. They make a hand and then they start checking.
Right.
Trying to get the their opponent to basically step in, try to be aggressive. But a lot of times they just check behind. So you end up not getting value, which is what David's saying.
And even this guy White Lime, who is a good player, you and Chris did the commentary, Ali, and he flopped the full house on me, and he kind of slow played it, and he could have got more chips from me on that.
Right.
It's usually a mistake, especially if it's a match where everyone's banging away. Where you're banging away, like to slow play a big hand.
Right. Something you're going to be banging away at the main event. You're still in it. You got yourself into day two. How much do you have in front of you?
I got about 120,000 right now.
You're looking pretty good. Don't be bashful. So what's the plan of attack going into day two? Keep hammering or slow down? Because I talked to Brandon Adams, and he actually wants to take a break on day two. He's got like almost 200,000, I think. And he said, you know what, I'm going to chill. I'm going to let everybody else do something. What are you going to do, David?
I'm going to go in with no plan. I look at my table.
Be the water.
That's how I play every time. I'm going to go, if I can steal antes at my table every time, I'm going to do it. If I can't, I'm going to wait for hands. I'm going to set plays up, like like the other day, I had a good player to my right, and he was raising a lot of hands, and I started re-raising him and just hoping that I'm going to get a big hand when he's like sick of me re-raising him. You got to just adjust to what's going on and see who you're playing against. In this event, you could really be playing with a lot of novice players, and then you can really exploit them and try and play almost every hand against them. But it depends what your table draw is. Table draw, people don't realize how important it is in a big event. a lot of the reason you do well in one event versus another is who you start out with.
Oh, yeah,
and
big
who
time.
you play against.
And where you're seated. Not just who, but where in relation to them at the table as well. Well, I love that you are true to form. I love that you practice what you preach. Be the water. That is going to be the catchphrase for today's Poker Road Radio episode. Thanks so much for making it over here and not aggressively driving and running over babies and whatever else you were cited for coming into the Rio today. Good luck the rest of the way in the.
Oh wait, I got one more thing.
What's up?
I was the one that came up with the Alan Kessler spot.
You say you came up with
guys,
the chainsaw?
Yeah, I came up with it. I was when I did Card Player, when I did the radio show there, I was going to put him on and have his hand of the day. And make fun of him every day.
Wow, you're gonna have to
so
fight with Gavin
I want like
about
half the revenue from this show.
All right, you're gonna have to fight with Gavin about this.
We got 17 cents coming to your phone account tomorrow. All right, guys, we'll be right back with a little more Poker Road Radio. Stay with us. Yeah. Welcome back for more Poker Road Radio. Hollywood, the Cub, and the Hick hanging out. How about David Singer, huh? He's a good guy. Damn it.
He's all right. I've always liked David, actually. I've always liked David a lot.
He just walked by and said, me and Alan Kessler. We love Alan. We love the chainsaw here. He should know that.
That's true.
By the way, Broseph.
Yes, my friend. Yes.
You have to wish me good luck today.
What are you playing now?
Because even though there's no official World Series action happening, I'm going to be in the media event with the Hick himself.
Are you going to win?
Correct. Yeah. Oh, of course I'm going to win.
You guys should have it last longer right now.
It's going to be heads up between me and the Hick.
Are you guys going to have it last longer or
It's going to be an all Poker Road heads up finale.
I have a feeling that the chances of either one of us lasting more than half an hour is pretty slim.
Yeah, the structure is pretty brutal. I'm not going to
One of you probably has a better chance to last longer, I would think.
Is that so? And who is it that you think has a chance to last longer?
I'm not pointing fingers. I'm not naming names. I'm just saying there should be a last longer bet on the table.
If there was ever a time to select a Durka soundbite there, Schronkles, that was it. Okay? Because that's happening. If for no other reason, because I stayed up till about 6 in the morning playing Asia Poker.
Yeah.
Court would win.
I was up to 6 in the morning playing real poker.
Ooh, you just got worse.
Are you saying that Asia Poker is not real poker? What do you have against Asia? That's what I want to know. What do you have against Asia?
I like Asia.
Okay. Then Asia Poker is real poker. How's that?
I don't even know what that means.
That's my line.
All I know is that at one point I was firing 800 a hand in 2 spots, trying to get even.
Do you ever play that Texas Hold'em table game?
Oh, the bonus Texas Hold'em game? No. But I had a guy walk by me and go, if you know poker, you got an edge. The other day. Right. I was like, wow, yeah, sure. You played it?
I have played it before. We had a big group of us. Me, Gavin. I'm trying to remember who was played. This was in Foxwoods.
Lane. Had to be
I don't think it was Lane. I don't think it was Lane.
It was me, you, Gavin, JC Alvarado, and Kirk Morrison.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. Kirk was there. And we were all playing like a team. We were all taking cuts of. There were like 6 of us who were all playing, but we had a system, and then we were all taking cuts of it. It was like it was probably illegal on many levels, especially in Foxwoods.
But it's all great.
But we did make some money, if I remember correctly.
The tribal folks accepted that about you. All right, tonight is Go Big Night, gentlemen. The Poker Stars party happening at Rain at the Palms.
That's right.
I haven't been to Rain ever. So
are we going?
I'm excited. Yes, we are going. We're going big. We're going to walk the red carpet.
You coming?
Let's rent a limo for like the 1/8 mile drive
for the block
to the thing. Exactly. When we should be walking if we were environmentally conscious. All right. 877-888-WSOP, the live call-in number. Learn it, live it, love it. We didn't get anybody using it today. That pisses me off. 877-836-ROAD, the voicemail line. PRradio@PokerRoad.com, the email. I'm going to spend the rest of the day, since I have it off for the most part, catching up on Poker Road email. I'm going to get back to a lot of you out there who I owe a response to. Jump on Full Tilt. Let's play some 816. Jump on WorldPokerTour.com if you're outside the U.S. and play for some real money. Good luck to Hick. He's going to need it.
Good luck to Ali.
Nice. I like that. Broseph, what are you doing? You going to the pool?
No,
I'm
working.
You suck. All right.
I know.
Everybody out there, have a terrific day. Thanks for kicking it with us on this dark day at the World Series. On behalf of everyone in the Poker Road family, this is Hollywood saying so long until tomorrow. Peace.
See ya.
I like Ali a lot.
And, good luck to Shronk in the media event, too.